Our region's business, improving our economy, creating jobs, and strengthening communities. Innovation, collaboration, transformation, and the people making it happen. Join us as we take a closer look at our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, big questions about the impact of AI on energy and the role our region can play to unlock the potential, an uptick in foreign investment in our region, and the lasting impact of the U.S. Open. First, brace yourself. The potential impact of artificial intelligence on energy demand is a bit of a mind blower. Today, by some estimates, data centers account for 2 to 3% of total demand for electricity. 5 years from now, it's projected to be 10 to 12%. Some experts say it could be 15% by the end of the decade. It's enough electricity to power the entire state of California. That made it a big topic of conversation during Energy Week earlier this spring at the Scott Institute at Carnegie Mellon University. And Dr. Param Singh moderated the panel on the subject. He's the Carnegie Bosch Professor of Business Technologies and Marketing at CMU's Tepper School of Business. Bryce Custer is first Vice President for Energy Services at NAI Scalo, which is developing projects and the infrastructure to help meet the demand. And welcome. Good to see both of you. Nice to have you here.
Thanks for welcoming us, and thanks for the nice introduction here.
Absolutely. And Dr. Singh, let me start with you, because during the presentation or the panel at Carnegie Mellon, you really said we're at a crossroads right now when it comes to this intersection of electricity demand versus our ability to provide the power. Why? What makes this such an important crossroads for the world, if not just our region?
That's a really important question. That's as you already mentioned, these large language models, generative AI, it requires the amount of energy that has never been required in the past. It's almost requires 50 gigawatts of electricity in the next 4 to 5 years. There's almost like building one nuclear power plant per month for the next 4 to 5 years.
A nuclear power plant a month for 4 to 5 years? We can't seem to get them built in 10 years if we try really hard.
Yes. So when I said it requires that, it doesn't mean we'll build that many nuclear power plants, but that much energy is what we are looking for. And that energy needs to be transmitted. And that depends on our electric grid. The grid was not designed for this really large scale, what we call hyperscalers, like these Amazons, Googles, Meta, and so on, building these really huge data centers, which at any time use so much power as a decent sized city. And that creates a problem. This is the same grid that powers your home, my home, and it will power the data centers as well. And data centers, when you add them to this grid, the way they consume electricity and the way they need to operate, that can actually destabilize the grid itself. On top, this kind of an issue with when you have this large-scale infrastructure or data centers being out there, somebody needs to put the infrastructure for that. Who is going to pay for that? Is it the regular consumers like us, or is it these developers who are building these data centers out there? So these are the big questions that we all need to figure out.
Wow.
How will go ahead.
No, and it is an enormous amount to think about. But Bryce, I also see enormous opportunity here. When you look at it from a developer's perspective and infrastructure builder's perspective, what do you see as the opportunity, especially here in our region?
You know, Bill, thank you. Great question. And really, the opportunity in our region is the resources that this region has. The resources this region has, including the natural gas to generate the power, legacy infrastructure from some of the former facilities, some of the former industrial facilities, and some of the former power plants that were in the area. Another great asset this region has is great educational places, such as CMU and the University of Pitt. And so this area is ripe for the expansion and for the additional power required by these data centers.
Dr. Singh, I know during your panel they talked a lot about sort of two big energy sources from our region, natural gas and nuclear, but I think it was Mike Kramer from Constellation, that's a big nuclear energy provider, said, yeah, we can't count on that in the near term. So what's at our disposal to be able to meet the kind of demand we're talking about?
Okay, so this is, I was reading up on this now. Actually, there are at least a couple of projects that are getting planned, particularly related to natural gas powered plants. One is in the Homer City, another is in Upper Burra. Both of these are these brownfield sites on which power would be generated using natural gas, and these are being planned to support data centers. What Constellation Energy talked about, it is correct that if we have to build something from complete scratch, natural gas plant or any of the other plants, it takes many years, sometime a decade to get that. But in Pennsylvania, we have actually these old established industrial spaces which are not being used, which have all the infrastructure that we need, and the access to natural gas and water makes it super attractive.
Yeah,
for Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Bryce, I wonder too, I want a little less than a minute left for this segment, but are you seeing that demand when you're talking to potential clients and organizations that want to build these facilities?
Oh, absolutely. We're working with clients and organizations throughout the Pittsburgh region, primarily in the southwestern Pennsylvania area, the southwestern Pennsylvania counties. We already have a couple of projects that we're getting ready to begin to work on, and many more to come. And again, just as was said earlier, just due to the lack of electricity and the benefit of having, the natural gas resource under our feet, so we can build on top of the feedstock and power the data centers.
Well, you just talk about the demand. I saw Amazon last week announce plans for a $20 billion investment across the Commonwealth in new facilities and data centers. So there certainly is a lot happening and building. When we come back, what I'd like to do, though, is talk about some of the obstacles we might have to overcome. You both paint a very bright picture, but getting from here to there is likely to be a challenge. So we'll be back with more on AI and energy infrastructure when we return. Please stay with us.